Today, we are talking about top business tips and legal tips for navigating a business purchase. So every year, our law firm helps a lot of people purchase a business. Many are first-time business buyers. They've never gone through the process before. Even if you've owned a business before, but you haven't bought one, it's still a bit different, and there are some potentially tricky legal pitfalls that you want to think about when going to buy a business. Hey there, this is attorney Sarah Holmes of Holmes Business Law P.C. We are a business and trademark law firm that also offers general counsel subscription services to clients. So first is to think about the types of things that are going to happen during a transaction. Number one might be you might locate a business for sale. So where do you locate a business for sale? A lot of people now go on something like bizbuysell.com to look for businesses. Maybe you're already working in a business that the owner has told you it's for sale. Maybe you know someone that's selling a business, but whichever way you figure it out, look at different things before you commit to buying the business. So obviously financials, the customer base, the potential for growth, and what is the strategic outcome for you? Do you already have a business and you're looking to expand your reach, or are you starting a business for the first time? Also, really carefully consider what type of lifestyle you want to have when you buy this business. We get a lot of people that are looking to buy a business for the purpose of just adding a second line of income on their tax return, meaning this is the type of person that maybe already has a job, maybe they already have a very high paying job, and they're just looking for other ways to make more money, and maybe they don't want a very involved business. That's a very different type of business you want to buy than if you were to buy a business that's going to require your constant input and you to be present there every day of the week. So think about why you want to buy the business, because that's going to inform sort of the types of businesses you look for and what you're looking for in their financials and their structure. So once you've identified a business that you want to take the next step and maybe put an offer in on the business, you're going to develop something called a letter of intent, or LOI. In the LOI, you're going to spell out a number of things. So it's going to be things like, how much do you want to pay for the business? How much time do you need for due diligence? When do you want to close? Do you need financing? Do you want the seller to take back a note to finance part of the purchase? And then finally, what type of purchase are you doing? Are you doing an asset purchase where you're only buying the assets, or are you doing a stock or equity purchase where you are actually buying the business entity itself? Now, there's strategic reasons to do both. In an asset sale, the strategy is that you're not buying the liabilities, you're only buying the good things. The stock or equity purchase is that you need something within that business that would be difficult for you to obtain in your own entity. Meaning, for example, if it's like a home healthcare business, that business you're buying may have a home healthcare license or contracts with insurance companies that if you were to start your own business, you would not be able to easily get those things. So in that case, you want to do the equity purchase so you can ultimately step into the former owner's shoes and take over immediately the types of things that they already have set up in that business. After that, you will be given a period for due diligence. So due diligence is really the period of time under which you are going to investigate every aspect of the business that you want to buy. You're going to go with a fine-tooth comb through the financials, the tax returns, employment records, customer lists, the software they use. If it is a physical brick and mortar space, you're going to go there and see what goes on in the business and verify that functionally all these things you know to date are true. And you're looking for things that you might be surprised by, things that could come back to haunt you. You want to just make sure that you are really aware of everything going on in this business before you actually move further along in the purchase process. After that, someone is going to start drafting up documents for you to actually buy this business. So that could be an asset purchase agreement, it could be a stock or equity purchase agreement. And then within that agreement, there is going to be a lot of heavy legal jargon and legal things to really parse through. So one of the biggest things, either as buyer or seller, are the representations and warranties sections, or shortened as reps and warranties. The reps and warranties are going to be statements that each side makes that need to be true. So for example, if you're the seller of the business, you're going to be asked to make statements like, to date, everyone employed here is a legal employee, or all of our contracts that we currently have open are listed in Exhibit A. There's no other contracts. There might be a statement like, aside from what I've already disclosed to you, there's no other debt in this business. The reps and the warranties are really critical because if later something else comes out that was not disclosed, you look to the reps and warranties to see if you can hold the other party responsible for omitting something, whether it's intentional or not. So reps and warranties are a big, big, big part of what goes into that purchase agreement. Next, you're going to think about whether you're going to proceed to closing. So closing might be contingent on a bunch of things. It might be contingent on financing. It might be contingent on getting the lease. It might be contingent on satisfactory due diligence. All sorts of things. If you are a buyer, you don't want to have to proceed with the business purchase if you find something you don't like during the due diligence process. So just like buying a home where a house sale can be contingent on things like inspections and getting a mortgage, your purchase of the business can also be contingent on some similar things. So once you are satisfied with all the conditions, you can proceed to closing. And then at closing, a bunch of things might happen. Number one is obviously you're going to have to give the seller some money, whether it's like a down payment, whether it's most of the payment, whether it's 80%. You're going to show up to closing with money, and the seller is going to show up to closing with the things that you need to run this business. So whether it's keys to the physical location, all the passwords, giving you account access, customer lists, handing over all the stuff you're going to need to run this business in the future. Then after closing, there might be some post-closing obligations of the parties. So for example, there may be something in the purchase agreement that says that the seller, the former owner, has to consult with and help the new owner for a period of time after the closing. Could be things like that. It may be that the new owners have to accept ongoing accounts receivable and give those to the former owner. That might be something that was negotiated during the process. The former owner will likely be under some type of non-compete where they can't go open a competing business maybe for 5 years or so after they sell this business. There's going to be a bunch of post-closing obligations that the parties are going to have to adhere to. And then finally, once you have all those building blocks in place and the new owner takes over, hopefully they are in a good position to have a business run successfully. Now, where we see problems is where things come up later that either weren't disclosed or the buyer was misled as to what happened. Then those are the types of things that could lead to potential litigation. But in most instances where we handle business purchases for people, most of them have gone smoothly and they've had a successful time of it later. So, of course, if you need help with buying a business, or even if you're a seller and you need help on the legal side, feel free to reach out to our office. Our number is 215-482-0285.